Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Yags. And just when you thought the Denver Nuggets were out of it, right? Their downfall is about to start. They fire Mike Malone with a couple games left in the season. They did have a good playoff run. They took OKC to 7 games. On the week of the draft, it was tweeted that the owners were looking to possibly move Jokic if necessary. And then on the very first day of free agency, they come out with this blockbuster trade for Cam Johnson. So it was Michael Porter Jr., a 2032 first, for Cam Johnson. And that was just really, really good stuff from the Denver Nuggets. Let's start out here with the trade. So somebody was going to get traded for the Nuggets, right? It's been going around the league that maybe Aaron Gordon, although his contract is essentially about to go in, maybe Jamal Murray was an option, and maybe Michael Porter Jr. has been an option for the last couple of years. But they finally made the trade, right? They pulled the trigger. They got Cam Johnson. They sent Michael Porter Jr., he's not a bad player, right? We're looking at a 27-year-old that averages 18 points per game, shoots 39% from three. Really good stuff. But his contract was not good, right? He was looking to make around $78 million over the next 2 years. He's missed a lot of games throughout his career with that back injury, around 180, 190, somewhere in that ballpark. And he just wasn't that good of a fit with Jokic, right? Although he's a very good spot-up shooter, he can't really do much. He's not much of a playmaker. He's not much of a defender, and he's not much of a cutter to the basket. And when we look at Cam Johnson coming in, I think he's just a better Michael Porter Jr. So he shoots better, he creates more, he's a better playmaker, not fantastic, but he can play make if he needs to. He's a better defender, he cuts more to the basket, he moves a lot more without the ball, and his contract's about half of what Michael Porter was going to make, right? So basically, the Denver Nuggets got a Michael Porter Jr. with a major discount on that salary sheet, which is really good for a team that's looking to stay under that second apron, because they were going to have some heavy contracts coming in with the Aaron Gordon extension about to kick in 2026. He was about to make $30 million. Michael Porter was already going to make around almost $40 million. I believe it was 38 and then 40 the following season. So, I mean, for the Denver Nuggets, this is just really, really good stuff. It gives them another window to compete, and I think they're right up there with Houston, with OKC as, you know, the top dogs for the Western Conference. I still think OKC has a little bit of a notch on them, but, you know, just good stuff. And they weren't done with that trade, so they brought in also a fan favorite in Bruce Brown, right, from the Pelicans. So right after that 2023 championship they had, Bruce Brown left in free agency, went to Toronto, then he was with the Pelicans this past year, and they brought him back in. And I think he's a guy, like I said, he's a fan favorite. He's also a guy that does the dirty work, right? He's not just a guy that's going to spot up and shoot threes. He's a guy that cuts to the basket as well, which is really important when you play with Jokic. We saw what they did with Russell Westbrook this year, that he did really well, you know, for a big stretch of that season. And he's a very, very good defender, right? He gets a lot of deflections. He's a guy that plays bigger than his size. He can guard multiple positions. And for a Nuggets team that didn't have much depth on that bench, you know, Bruce Brown is a guy that you can plug and play because he's already played with Jokic. He knows most of the people that are on that team. It's going to take, you know, just a little bit of time to adapt to the David Adelman system. But other than that, it's a guy that, you know, it's extremely professional. He's a good veteran. He's going to come in. It gives you multiple options. He's going to be able to play immediately, and it gives that second squad at least a 10, 12 point per game score. And then with their third move in free agency, they made a trade. You know, they sent Dario Saric to the Sacramento Kings. They got back Jonas Valanciunas, which finally gives Jokic an actual backup center, because, you know, we're in 2025. DeAndre Jordan as your backup center is not going to cut it. I'm sorry. It's not going to cut it. So Valanciunas comes in. He's a guy that, you know, is very capable. He can give you, you know, a double-double basically coming off the bench. Good rebounder. There is some contract stuff going on. Panathinaikos from Greece actually sent him a better offer in terms of contract. He was in Greece this week seeing if he was going to make the move or not. If he does make the move, apparently the Nuggets will get back that mid-level exception. Will be able to sign a different player, and that would actually be a big blow to their free agency. I think, you know, when we look at everything, this was one of the better moves that they did as well. So hopefully for Nuggets fans, Valanciunas will actually be able to play out this season. And, you know, and if he decides to go overseas the following year, I mean, you got to live with that. But for this year, if he can stay, that would actually be really good. And, you know, when we look at the financial situation for the Nuggets, this is actually, this was the best thing that they could have done, right? Like I said, Cam Johnson is just cheaper than Michael Porter Jr., right? You have Jokic signed through 2028. You have Murray and Aaron Gordon signed through 2029. You were able to get Bruce Brown on a very, very friendly team deal. You were able to get Valanciunas on the mid-level exception. So financially for the Denver Nuggets, this might have been the best offseason they could have possibly asked for. I think with Cam Johnson and Bruce Brown, it also gives them a lot more versatility with their starting five, or, you know, whatever lineup that they actually want to put out on the floor at any given moment. And when we look at the Western Conference, right, we've got OKC. OKC is probably going to be the top dog in that Western Conference again for 2025. They just won the title. You got the Timberwolves. They brought back Naz Reid, they brought back Julius Randle, but they don't have much depth on that offense with Nickeil Alexander-Walker leaving for the Atlanta Hawks. But you got Ant, you know, coming into his prime just now. They've been to the conference finals 2 years in a row. You've got Houston making a lot of moves, brought in Kevin Durant, you brought in Dorian Finney-Smith. They are probably going to be contenders as well. I see Houston, the Nuggets as the two best, second best teams in the West right now. I think it's going to be good to see what they're actually going to do. The Nuggets obviously have the advantage just because I think they're older. They're more of a veteran team. So I think, you know, in a 7-game playoff series, I think they will have the better chances. And they also have the best player in the world, which is Nikola Jokic, of course. But you got the West making moves. So this offseason was very, very important for the Nuggets, you know, to continue to compete while Jokic is still in his prime. So guys, let me know in the comments what you guys thought about the Denver Nuggets signings, you know, and the trades that they made during this offseason up until this point. I really think that they're actually putting the league on notice, and they are going to be looking to compete and actually make it back to the NBA Finals and possibly even winning it all in 2025. So let me know, as always, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out. I appreciate it. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.